Yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Yo, disgusting work, y'all. Look, Pete Carroll is on right now. We are gonna put that on right now. You know, Pete Carroll. Look, you know, man. You know, this was ugly. This was ugly. Salute to everybody. But this was horrendous. This was horrendous. This was so bad.
We have to get back on track.
In that first quarter, Ashton got one carry in the first quarter. I understand that the Chiefs had a lot of plays, obviously, long prolonged drive.
Look, we got over 142 in here. Get waste with your brother waste. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I know we're a little late today. There are other people that are doing post-game shows, but this is the only post-game show that matters in Raider Nation. The pulse of the nation is right here. You know what time it is. Share this thing out to all social media. We're going to go back and listen to what we missed.
We came into this game really wanting to run the football, figuring that would be a key element of this makeup of this game, but we just couldn't get there. And we didn't change our mind about that at all. We didn't miss that thought. We just couldn't get in charge of the down the distance well enough. It wasn't what they were doing on the other side, but other than the fact that we didn't have the ball very long. So it just was it was a storm. You know, they're doing everything they can to keep the ball moving, and we miss our opportunities. And all of a sudden, like you said, there's 10 plays in the first quarter. You know,
share this thing out to all social media. All social media.
Scored 6 or fewer points in 2 of the last 3 games. What do you see is the biggest issue there? Is just this lack of continuity all around? Just what's been the biggest issue?
Yeah, it feels like we're not finding the plays that we need, you know, to chunk in between the routine part of the approach where we're throwing the ball underneath, we're getting some completions, we're running the football, but the chunk plays don't seem to be appearing for us, and that makes a difference, you know. And you look at their first drive, and he scrambles around, and I think it's Kelsey he finds in front of their bench. You know, that's a huge play. Typical play for them, but it's those kinds of plays that change the field position. They had a reverse in another sequence, you know, that gets them 25, 30 yards. It's those chunk plays that change the rhythm of the drive, and those just have gone quiet for us. And when we play really well on the other side of the ball, like last week, it wasn't apparent, but it's still, we were not really making the big plays last week either. So it just depends on how the game goes.
You're not making the plays any week. This is an embarrassment.
Is there, like, do you feel like when the lack of, like,
Marcus
plays,
Webb
is that more
with the
play
$10
calling thing, or
holler?
just, like, how defense are playing? You guys kind of
Appreciate you, my brother.
We would like to call some plays that would get, you know, to give those ups, but we did try some.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to hear Pete Carroll
play in this game against a really good club.
Ahead a little bit.
Didn't we have a couple third down stops when we go back out there as first down? Well, those are huge plays in the game. You know, at halftime when we talked about we need to get one score and get moving. We need to get one stop and get moving. Throughout the game, and you know, as you talk to the defensive guys, you'll hear them. They were in it the whole time. They're trying to get the ball the whole time. And wasn't there like 3 or 4 opportunities where the ball was like in our hands and bouncing around? I mean, those are the plays that you make in a game that gives you the chance, the momentum shift, and all that. I mean, that's nothing. I'm going to reinvent the wheel here, but we need to capitalize on those moments, in particular against a really good club like this that plays really good football.
You mentioned a couple of players coming in, but you lost some. Can you talk about the impact?
You lost a lot of players.
Max Crosby.
Yeah, well, Max has had a bit of a sore knee, and it just I don't know how it happened today in the game early, but he wasn't his full self, but he could play, and he wanted to be in there, and he wasn't. But then we had to yank him, because he just didn't look right. Somehow Adam Butler, his back just spasmed up in pregame, and he couldn't play. Jacoby, we worked him out, tried to get him out there, and he couldn't go. He wasn't some extra opportunities in these practices.
The best players on this team are not on the field.
Opportunities. And so we've always done that, but we're moving ahead. This is the next game coming up is huge to us, and so we'll be preparing for that simultaneously. And it's a conversion, and they were able to do that. You saw us. We jumped up after we saw.
Listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to hear any more of those freaking excuses, bro. I don't want to hear that shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that, yo. Like, look, man. we got over 500 in the room. Get wasted with your brother. Wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Share this thing out to all social media. We need 1,000 people in here. But this is sickening, bro. It's sickening, and I'm not gonna get my blood pressure up. I'm not gonna be yelling and screaming and ranting and raving. This is not what we're gonna do. But what I need to know is my guy Ant Thompson. Yeah, I lied earlier. Top to bottom, complete rebuild. Did JPG get benched or was he hurt? Caillou still out there like he's not getting torched. Compete, only JPJ. Listen, I need to find out exactly what happened with Jackson Powers Johnson. I need to, because there's more afoot than a talent problem. Like, we can clearly see that there's a talent issue here. We can clearly see that there is a team that is devoid of a certain level of talent. Right? We got a situation where, Chris Jones, he was taking JPJ to the woodshed. But you don't bench him. Because to me, that's the credibility problem. That's the credibility problem with Pete Carroll, man. How is he the guy that gets benched and Dylan Parham's been getting worked the whole season? He been getting worked the whole season. Caillou Blue Kelly is getting worked every goddamn play. But he's still playing, right? I don't want to hear that. We talk about a talent problem. There's a credibility problem with the coaching staff. And I'm going to tell you just like this. We can sit up here and we can talk about, Pete's a gentleman. We could say, Pete has won a lot, but he hasn't done any winning here. He hasn't won anything here. He hasn't won anything. I'm not calling for Pete's job. I'm not calling for his job. I'm going to say it for the third effing time. I am not calling for his job. But what I will tell you is this. The Raider team, they need to figure out exactly what direction they're going to go. Because you got a 74-year-old coach here that's coaching like he's a player or 2 or 3 away from winning a Super Bowl. For real. He is coaching and making decisions that are very, very, to me, short-sighted. I feel like what they're doing with this roster is completely, off base. These young guys should be playing now. The older guys and the vets on this roster have shown you that they are not good. So start developing the young guys. The metric for the season has changed, That's why I'm not going to get all upset. I know I sound upset. I'm more embarrassed, bro. I'm not upset. I'm embarrassed. My dog, Dick Society, it's not a rivalry. That's when we lost. Look, I'm not blaming Pete by saying this, but listen, if we're being honest, this hasn't been much of a rivalry over the last few years. It's been them putting belt to ass to the Raiders. We don't have a rivalry with nobody, bro. We are since 2002 the second worst team in this league. That's who we are, bro. I don't want to hear that. So I don't want to hear all of this compete shit. If we talk about compete, then everybody should be competing. Everybody should be getting the hook if they play bad. Why the fuck is Geno allowed to just stay out there? And I know that there's a talent problem here, but there's a credibility problem here. There's a credibility problem here. There's a credibility problem when you tell me that you were trying to run the ball, we wanted to run the ball, and Ashton Genty didn't get his second carry into 9 minutes At 9:02 in the second quarter, Ashton Genty got a second carry. And then every week, we go out here every week with the same bullshit. Every week, nothing has changed. Nothing's the only thing that ever changes is they fuck with Jackson Powers Johnson and they put that bum Alex Kappa in. Then we have a whole, draft class that's fucking terrible. Geno Smith is out there, y'all. Wait, hold on. Geno Smith is out there, y'all.
Game in the run game, got to play better.
A lot of the attention was on the Chiefs' offense. You went against this defense. You guys really struggled against this defense. Can you talk about how tough they were to play against today?
Yeah, I think we beat ourselves for the most part. You think about when we did get some things going, we had penalties.
And y'all here?
We played in some first and 20s. It's tough to do in the NFL. We had about 15 plays in the first half, so we didn't get a chance to get into a rhythm. And then second half, we didn't do much either. So, they're a great team. Historically great team. They've been, together for a while. These guys,
bro, it's Kansas City.
What it takes to
it's
win.
70
and,
degrees outside. This motherfucker got on somebody's.
Whenever you come out and you don't, do things
Granny's
the right way,
quilt.
and you don't play the right way,
Yeah,
and
F did this
you shoot
guy
yourself
got
in
on
the foot early on. You don't take advantage of your opportunities.
You like he
it's
about
gonna
to
be
do a
uphill battle,
stylish stick
and,
up.
that's what it was today.
Did things compound themselves? I mean, the more you struggled, did it make it even harder?
It's going to be hard. The NFL is a hard game as it is. It's never going to be easy. We got tough games every week. And so, again, when you don't, play the right way and you don't play up to your standard, it's going to be extremely tough to win games.
Those are hard lessons that, you guys have learned a few times this year.
With the my thing is look.
At what point does it happen?
I just want to know what the fuck Geno got on, bro.
Lessons that you learned to lessons that you have applied now.
What does this boy got on, man?
It should have already turned over, in my opinion. Like I said, we're a developing young team. When I look at what's going on, I think about, that's the reason I'm here to help right this thing and help right the ship. And
Really?
it's tough, man. Mentally, you prepare all week. I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we had a good game plan going in. I thought guys were focused and locked in. There's something that we didn't, do right.
Look, I know he got chrome hearts on. That shit look
There's
trash.
a lot of soul searching that's got to be done. Every man's got to look within himself. A great coach told me, not to be a finger pointer, but a thumb pointer. And so, I point the thumb right at myself and I say, what do I do to get better?
As well
How do
as
I help
you
my
should.
teammates get better? And that's the reality. And so I'm working
As
hard.
well, you fucking should, Geno.
There's not one thing that I'm not thinking about that'll get this thing done. But, I have faith, and that's the biggest thing. I have faith that we'll get it turned around.
I know you don't make excuses, but you're down Colton Miller, you're down
I have faith too. I have faith that one
Is there a
day
way to calculate what those
will
losses mean?
he's
to this
starting,
offense?
and one day the Raiders.
They're great players,
line up and
but
draft a fucking
again, man, it's the
quarterback.
NFL, man. Guys got to step up. There's no excuses to be made. I'm not sitting here, when I'm out there, I'm not thinking about those guys not being out there. I'm thinking about the guys the 11 guys that we have on the
F up outta
field.
here.
How do we execute together to get it done? And again, we're not getting it done right now at any phase. And whenever something looks wrong, I tell you guys all the time, put it on me. Because it's not about the guys who aren't out there. It's about the guys who are, and I'm out there.
I'm gonna tell you who put something on you. The Chiefs put something on that ass. Gave you a goddamn goose egg.
Being a bye week, is it like a good time to recalibrate, or does it come kind of at the right time?
I just want to play football. I just want to play ball. I just want to get to practice. I want to work. I want to figure out how to make this team better. I could care less about a bye week. You know what I mean? I'm just focused on getting better as a player.
One of the things Carroll mentioned.
Why don't you go to Dumbledore and ask him
What do
to
you think
cast the spell so you can
attribute
stop
to
playing
guys
shitty?
not getting a lot of explosive plays out there?
This fucking guy, man. Salute to my
I
guy,
would have
Mando
to
Wade.
exactly look at it, but
He
again,
doesn't
teams are
deserve
playing
this
us a
either.
certain way. And,
Bro, 75. He needs to leave this
first you're
shit
saying,
show and enjoy
sometimes,
life.
hey, we
Excuse
need more
to
big
get
plays, or we
old.
need to be more efficient. It's football, man. Guys got to make plays.
Halfway
a man
there,
beat a
and
man.
always next
That's the
year.
name of the game. Guys get paid on both sides of the ball. They practice, we practice. It's the NFL, man. You got to go out there and make plays. I don't know how else to explain it. Guys got to make plays. It's simple.
You talked in how there was mental focus during the week, but with some of the nature of those penalties, at least on offense, is that maybe attributed to the lack of mental focus?
I think guys are just maybe trying a little bit too hard. Maybe guys are just, maybe I can't speak for everybody, but I think, when I assess it from my point of view, I think maybe guys are just trying a little too hard, or, guys want to win, and guys sacrifice a lot to go out here and play this game. And when you're not getting the outcome that, the results that you want, frustration will set in with some guys. And so, whether or not that's the case, you always got to think about the bigger picture and think about when you make mistakes or when you have penalties, turnovers, you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting the team, you're hurting the guys around you, the other guys who are sacrificing as well.
When you
And
completely gave up on that
it's always
33
bigger
and
than
5.
just one person or just one player. It's a team game. And again, man, we all have to go out there and make plays. Every guy's got to make plays, of whether you're offensive lineman, tight end, receiver, running back. When the ball's in your hand, you got to make plays. When you got to block the man in front of you, you got to tackle. I mean, it's football. Blocking and tackling. It's always going to be the game. And until we just do those things exactly right every single game, we're going to still be climbing. And I'm
guess
not
what I'm about to do?
bitter
I'm about
it.
to climb
I'm
in,
really upset that we just
and I'm about to
aren't the
block
team that,
Geno Smith.
I
I
envision
don't
us
want to
being
see
yet,
his crap
but,
anymore.
We'll get there.
What do you
Where the
and
fuck
the
are you
other team
going?
leaders have to go back and talk to your teammates about? What are some things that maybe you can point out to, or
The
things that you're
Talking not
Simulator.
gonna get it done. I'm gonna be real with you. Talking ain't gonna get it done. It's gonna be on Sunday or whenever we play. Go out there with bad intentions and get it done. It ain't gonna be about what we say. You can't motivate. You know what I mean? These guys, everybody in the locker room has got to look within himself, and then as a unit, we got to come together and continue to come together.
We got over
Tough
1,000
losses
in
like
room.
this
Wasted with your brother Wade.
should be a gut check, and it
I
should
need
make
for
you
you
lock
to
in
look
more with your
within
teammates.
yourself
And so we got to lock in
and
more with our
take that
teammates.
trash
We gotta
fit
play.
off. That's enough. I can't see this guy out here dressed like this. I'm from New Jersey, bro. I can't see this dude with that trash fit on. The same old shit every week. I don't want to hear that shit from Geno. The F up out of here. This fucking guy's dressed like he's about to go to war with Gryffindor. The F is going on, dressed like Draco Malfoy and fucking Harry Potter. 46 years. This is the worst I've ever seen the Raiders. And that's saying a lot. Horrible. My dog, Ray NC 76 with a $10 slapperoonie. How do they expect us to watch this dumpster fire? This is so embarrassing. I put all my Raider gear up. They're making it hard to be a fan of this trash. Pete sounds incompetent. Man, dude, I'm gonna get through these supers. We gonna chop some game. Meredith Kappa Forsythe should be named Meredith Crapper and Foreskin. Boo. Al, get the F up out of here with this. Chris, a family show. You gotta watch your mouth. Yo, hug these. Numbers require someone loses their job. 95 total yards, 30 total plays on offense. Genty with 6 carries. The Chiefs with 434 total yards and beat 31-0. Jesus. Oh, God. Pessimistic Frank. 0 talent. Coaches sucks. Seen the script. My guy, J Rock 71 with a $10 slappy. Wasted. This was a compete, coaching, and QB shit show. AP got better effort than our Hall of Fame coach does. It starts with Pete. Tired of the same old post-game speeches. Bench Gina, fire Kelly. This is BS. Trucker Mars. Can I ask a different question? How'd your haircut turn out? Trucker Mark, that's too personal. You're about to get unceremoniously blocked with that crap. My guy, Jermaine Williams. Trade Max, heavy on O-line, drafted QB. Trade for no. Listen. I don't want to hear another freaking word about trade for Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is not starting for the Browns. If the Raiders wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders, they had 5 chances to, and they never did. I don't want to hear this shit about Shedeur. The Raiders need to look to this draft coming up and draft the best quarterback they possibly can. And they better draft the quarterback. And this is the reason why I'm concerned about having an old coach that's here for a good time and not a long time. Because I don't know if he's receptive to even doing that. I don't know if he's even receptive to even drafting a quarterback. When you never invest in the QB position, you get stuck with jokers like Geno Smith of the world. And that's a fact, bro. That is a fact. My brother Heat Check. He has no fire under his ass. His responses are the same when either we win or get shut out by 30. Dude is selfish. Look, I'm not putting that on Geno, right? What do you want Geno to do? You want him to come up here and give you a hellfire and brimstone speech? It's not going to happen, right? Like, he's not going to do that. It's the media. It's really the guys in the locker room that he needs to motivate. And he really needs to motivate his goddamn self. Geno cost us 3 winnable games thus far. I'm done with him jabbing at everyone but himself. Call out yourself. Chip and Carroll for the weekly BS. That's a fact, yo. And Just Raiders, baby. This game was torture. Everything was bad. Yeah, man. Shout out to Just Raiders, baby. And my guy, Luis Galvez with the $5 slap of Rooney. Genty with carry numbers of 2 in the middle of the second quarter make it make sense. Fire that bum Chip Kelly now. Now, look, listen, guys. There's a few things that are afoot here, right? 2 things. Chip Kelly is getting paid $6 million a year, bro. Mark Davis has this coffer of money that he's paid out for coaches and coordinators and people who are no longer associated with the Raiders, and it cannot continue. I don't see them firing him. But what I will tell you is this. We need to figure out whose timeline are we on. Whose timeline are we on? Are we on Pete Carroll's timeline or are we on John Spytek's timeline? Are they diametrically aligned? You can't tell me if John Spytek feels like that some of the people that they've brought in or some of the things that they've done are what was needed and was the best move, then he shouldn't be our GM. A lot of this stuff, and me looking at this, right? When I ask myself, why go out and sign Stone Forsythe? Why? And see, this is the thing. You know, you got people saying, yo, I told you, listen, wasted talent didn't have a problem with Jackson Dart. I didn't think he was the end-all be-all, right? But the thing is, even Jackson Dart, with this team, with this line, him being a rookie, would have been a bad choice. It would have been a bad choice because the guy would have no chance. Just you can draft a young quarterback, right? But there got to be some things in place to draft that quarterback, right? Like offensive linemen, right? Weapons, all these different little things, right? These are not the Raiders right now. I think they should draft a quarterback this year because they have a lot of free agent money, right? And they're gonna have draft picks and stuff like that. And they already got Genty, they already got Bowers, they got Mayers, right? So there's some weapons here, right? You know, if you're gonna keep Trey, you keep Trey. Go out free agency, go get a vet, right? Let Jacoby walk and go outfit that line with veterans because I don't have faith that Brendan Carroll is a guy that can develop a young lineman. The shit that they're doing with JPJ. Go out there and get some free agents. Get these fucking guys out of here. Go bring in guys who have a certain cachet in this league that can tell you to go fuck yourself. Because I've done it at a high level and you don't know what you're doing. See, I think the credibility, man, there's a credibility issue here, right? If you got JPJ going and leaning on the coaching staff about things that he feels like isn't right or whatever, and they're that sensitive that they'll bench, and I'm not saying that that's what's happening because I don't know that to be true, but a lot of y'all are alluding to that in the chat, right? If this is some personal issue and they are sitting him down at the behest of you know what's really right, then that's an issue for me. Now, did he play well today? No. Chris Jones got at him today, right? But a part of that too is the fact that Jordan Meredith shouldn't be the center either. And Jordan Meredith is not very good. And some of these decisions that Pete Carroll have made, he needs to admit that they're not good, bro. Caillou Blue Kelly should not be starting, bro. It's a bad decision. He should be sitting down. Like that's the problem for me. Don't come out here every week and say, oh, Geno's working his tail off. And I don't want to hear that shit. He's not playing well. And he should be sat the fuck down, bro. DeMarquise Wilder. Thank God for the bye week. But we probably lose that anyway. Shaking my fucking head. I know this is a family show, but guess what, guys? Listen, kids, cover your ears because this is after a bad Raider loss. My guy, Mariam Messiah, Pete pissing me off more than AP. Yeah, man. And I'm over this shit. Dave's on. Yeah, I'm over it, bro. But it's getting to the point where, yo, if they keep going out every week and think it's going to get better, trotting this guy out, that's a problem for me, bro. Yo, and guys, bad news, terrible news. Former Raider, former Tampa Bay Buck, the Duggernaut, Doug Martin has passed away at age 36. No cause of death reported at this time. Yo, 36 years old. Rest in peace to Doug. Man, golly, man. The young cat, man. Young guy, man. I mean, shit, my nephew 36, man. Oh my God, man, that's terrible, man. Rest in peace to Doug Martin, man. The Doug or not. Man, I wish we had the 2016 line. We all do, bro. But we need a week. We need a week off, bro. We need a week off because I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Rest in peace to Doug Martin, man. That's sad, man. He's a youngster, bro. A youngster. But listen, it's not the fact that the team, you know, it's not the fact that the team is losing, bro. It's how they're losing. It is the excuses that they're coming to us with. It is how they're going out there and reacting to said loss. That's the biggest problem for me, bro. That is the biggest. That's the biggest problem for me, bro, is how they're responding to these losses. Going out there and telling us that we're trying to fix it with the same personnel every week is a problem for me. Going out there and making JPJ the scapegoat for everything that went bad today and benching him and never having benched any of the rest of these guys is a problem for me. The gaslighting, like my man Ricardo Johnson, is insane, bro. And everybody keeps talking about AP. AP was bad too, and he needed to go. You know? AP was bad, and he needed to go. And I don't give a shit what nobody says. Everybody always likes to play revisionist history. Like, you know, we weren't just sitting here in the same place last year, losing 4-13, complaining about AP too. You know, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am team who's ever gonna turn this team around. Now, this is the thing. Pete, if we're being honest, the best thing for Pete, man, is to allow the young minds in that building to curate this roster and coach them. Like some of the people that we're bringing in on his behalf, I think that he's short-sighted, bro. I think he's short-sighted, and I think he might be a tad out of touch. And the problem is that with Pete, man, everybody's saying he should retire. He's not going to come here and burn this shit down and then leave. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's not going to quit. Men that have been as successful as Pete Carroll don't just quit. It's not going to quit, bro. Abstract Raider with the $5 slap-a-rooney. I thought I was watching 2008 Lane Kiffin coach team. These guys are asparagus. Yeah, man. I mean, tell me something I don't know. You know, we talk about Brian Flores, you know, and all of these guys. Brian Flores, we be fucking complaining about Brian Flores too. We be saying it's the Patriot way and all this shit. You know, I'm not saying Pete needs to be fired, but some accountability is needed. And see what accountability measures need to be taken, right? I think one of the big accountability measures that need to be taken is the fact that somebody from this coaching staff needs to be walked out of the door or demoted, or something needs to change about their role, right? Whether it's coming down and coming on the sideline or having someone to assist them. But you cannot continue to do the same thing and expect to get a different result. They're doing the same thing. They're willing the same bogus personnel. They have the same actors and inactors every week. Like the fact that they're not doing anything differently, right? Just by maybe bringing up a young guy and sending one of these guys that are playing poor down to the practice squad or sitting them on the bench is the short-sightedness that I'm talking about. Like you can't continue to just have these same people trot out there every week and give you a shitty result. And now the Raiders have just punched their ticket in a race to the bottom. Dave Zahn, speaking of revisionist history, where will we be if we kept McDaniels? Where will we be if we finished the tank? We got that second-year QB looking like an MVP. Bro, I don't know. I don't even care. That like we keep talking about if we caught, if Gruden's emails, what, like, bro, that shit means nothing to me. We got to deal with right now. Right now, this team is bad. Right now, this team is very, very devoid of talent. And right now, some of the personnel choices that they've made, even though some of these guys are rookies, are not looking great. And I need to know who has final cut in that building. I need to know, is John Spytek, is Spytek the boss or not? Are you the boss or not, bro? This is what we need to know. Are you the boss or not? Because a good GM doesn't make some of the moves that have been made, yo. And I know it's early. I'm going to give them grace. I don't want to come here and say burn the world down, right? Because it's a bad loss, and it's easy for me to come in here and play on the emotions of what happened. But we got to maintain measured here. We can't. Look. If Pete walks out of the door, would I be upset about that? No. But you can't fire Pete right now. And the thing is, when we say fire someone, right? How does that work? Who replaces him? I think there are some things that do need to happen when you start talking about accountability measures, right? Guys like Caillou Blue Kelly, the guy has tried. He's worked his ass off. I give him credit. But he is not a starter in the National Football League, bro. And it's bad when they keep trotting this guy out there and killing his confidence. It gets worse and worse every week. And we got boat raced by the Kansas City Chiefs. Boat raced. And shut out. Al Davis is probably rolling over in his grave. So do you not think that Pete should be held to the same metrics as Del Rio, McDaniels, or AP? Not yet. Look, I didn't want Jack Del Rio fired, first and foremost, right? 2, I was the main one where I get a lot of shit even to this day because I wanted the Raiders to stay the course with McDaniels. And with AP should have never been the head coach to begin with. And we got kind of caught up in the emotions of that. But you can't just keep firing coaches and bringing people in. You can't do that, bro. You can't do that. And the one thing about Pete Carroll I know is that if he has the right players, he can win. He's won in his league. Even though he's won nothing with the Raiders, I know he can win. I think the problem with Pete Carroll is, and this is the problem with John Gruden and a lot of these great coaches, right? They do not need to be intimately involved with the personnel decisions like this. They should not have a seat at the table because they're going to do things that a lot of the times only make sense to them. Sometimes, bro, you're too close to the situation to have good judgment. Sometimes, you know, in your older age, right? And I don't mean to be an ageist, right? But this is a guy who's forgotten more football than most people know. And a lot of the times you dig in because you want to show people, listen, that new way y'all doing things, it's not how we did it back in the day. We're going to win this way. But once the situation shows you and it dictates you the actions, you have to be flexible enough to paradigm shift and change, bro. You have to. The Geno Smith thing, that whole experiment, that should be over right now. They should be playing either Kenny Pickett or they should, see if they're going to keep Aiden and maybe trot him out there. But this guy shouldn't be playing. Now, listen, if they're saying the quiet thing out loud and they're just going to let it ride and see how high they pick in the draft, then God bless them. But I don't think that's what's happening here. Like, the sad thing is that when a team is trying to tank, you can see it. This team is not trying to tank. This is a bad football team, man. And this whole roster is a failure, yo. What pissed me off and lost all faith was in the 3rd and 20. Geno threw it in the dirt. We're down 31. Come on, man. Bro, at the end of the day, Geno Smith, this is who he is, man. When you get a middle of the road to lower third quarterback, you have peaks and valleys, man. You have peaks and valleys. You have some really, really high play where he looks like he can be one of the best guys in the league. And then now we're in a deep, deep valley now. A deep valley. I mean, a valley deeper than Vanessa Del Rio. I'm talking about deep. Deep. We're in the valley right now, bro. He is not playing well. And guess what? He's not going to dig himself out there by just playing worse and worse and worse. I think he needs to be acquainted with the bench. It's time to bench him. He looks shell-shocked, man. It's time to bring some new life and new blood. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Somehow, some way, they're gonna have to bring some new blood in this season. John Wick. Why didn't we draft Sanders in the second after we took Genty? Because we didn't. Apparently, they don't believe in him, John. And yo, there was a whole other bunch of teams in this league who don't believe in Shedeur Sanders either, bro. Shedeur Sanders is not the answer for us, bro. Whoever the answer for us is probably in college right now. Probably in college right now. He has to be. Oh my God. Wait, okay, so let me ask you a question. Jordan Shan said, "You dummy, dummy." Is that for me? Is that for me? You got Thomas the Tank Engine train. You might be a little kid, right? So this is not for kids. This is a family show, but it's not for kids. So what I'm gonna do, because no adult's gonna call you a dummy. I'm just gonna block you. You have a nice day, child. Please, adults are talking here. You can't be in here with that crap. If Carroll stays, we probably gonna get Geno for another year. And listen, that's sad if we get him for another year. David's on. Bench and Geno will do nothing. Pickett is our backup. And make no mistake, that shit was done on purpose. We had to stick with his ass. Nah, bro. Listen, there's some accountability measures that need to be taken, Dave. He needs to be benched. That's it. He needs to be benched. J-Rock. Changes typically occur during a bye week. Time to play some youngsters. Move JPJ to center. Sit Gina. Scour the other 31 teams practice squad. We got to see what we have in Pickett. And that's the direction I would probably go. I would open up the quarterback competition between, him and Aiden and see who I'm keeping. And then I would be trotting them out after the bye week. I would be trotting out Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant and all these young guys. They would be playing. Tonka Hemway. These guys would be playing because this team is going nowhere fast, man. I'm very disappointed with Pete's stubbornness. His defense is old. His genius alliance is coming before our eyes. His genius allegiance is coming right before our eyes, man. I told y'all it was trash from the start. Bro, look, Lake Show. Everybody says, I told you. Like it makes you some football savant. You could clearly see that there was a problem here earlier in the season. But the thing is, if you're a fan, if you're a pundit of the Raiders, like, what do you want for people to do? You want me to come on here or other content creators to come here and just tell you how bad the Raiders are every week? Nobody, listen, and bro, me as a fan, right, I want to believe it's going to work. I'm going to try to find every reason schematically why it could work. That's me. I don't come out every week and want to shit on a team. Right now, they deserve to be disrespected because they allow themselves to be disrespected. It's crazy, man. Steve Harbaugh, Geno has been in more valleys than peaks. Look, oh my God, disgusting. What the F is wrong with you? Yeah, God, we're not saying Kenny Pickett is a world beater, right? But what Kenny Pickett does is hopefully he can take care of the ball a little bit better. So we don't really know what's going to happen, guys. We don't, because everything is up in the air with an older coach like this, Big Lil Bosco. A fraction of the problem is the ensemble cast of GM, head coach. Probably nobody is 100% on the same page. And that's because usually GM picks his head coach. Also, there is a separation in the coaching staff. Yeah, well, look, we've reported that already, right? But the problem is this, yo. I don't like how the Raiders do things out of sequence. That's been the biggest problem with this team. Hire your GM first. Let him hire the head coach. Done. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Sean Huggins, I blame Spytech and Tom. They knew what the team needed in the offseason and brought in garbage. Well, bro, you got to understand something too, right? Some of the people that we see in free agency, they have a choice whether they want to play here or not. Just because we offer them money doesn't mean that they want to play here. Some guys that you think we should trade for, yo, their teams are in the football business too. They're not gonna get lowballed by the Raiders. They're not. Like, yo, so you might see something wrong and you might feel a certain way about it, but they might not. Yo, my guy, Late Show Raider. Oh, guys, yo, we have the president in here right now. Salute to the former president, Barack Obama, yo. Barack Obama. He said, Raider Nation Unlimited, shut up. You know what, man? You know what, man? I try to be nice, man. You know, I think that you're trying to goat me into having a rant. But listen, if you want me to shut up, why are you in here glazing me watching my damn stream? I mean, this guy is up here. I mean, just swallowing. I mean, veritable inches. Swallowing. Listen, this is what I'm going to do because you're not the real Obama. I'm going to ban you and all of your bogusness. You get the F up out of here. It's an embarrassment. An effing embarrassment. This guy's in here. I mean, this guy just in here gargling. Look, the family show's over now. The family show's over. Now, guys, let me ask you a question. I told you what I would do. I would start all the young guys. I would move JPJ back to center. I don't know if that's going to happen. But either which way, he wouldn't be the guy that I would go after because if you do that, Pete, you're going to lose this team. Because there's nobody else that's battling for their job all the time like that kid. What do you guys feel like the Raiders should do for the rest of the season? Right? I'm going to be honest with you. I think Malcolm Kuntz needs to be moved. He's not playing well. They're not going to get anything for him. Get him out of here. Time for him to go. Time for him to go. Steve Harbaugh. Sorry, wasted. LOL. I know it's a family show, but this is crazy. It feels like some players are just here for the money. Like the coaching staff is not here for wins. Yeah, it can feel like that for us because we're not on the field getting hit. But these guys are not out there getting hit for nothing, bro. They want to win. Why would they not? It's hard to win in a team construct if you don't feel like you're in the right position. It's hard to win in a team construct when you don't believe in the leadership. This is a leadership problem, yo. From the top of the organization down. From whatever part of this team you can think of, from the highest all the way down to Pete Carroll, there is a leadership problem. I think there's a leadership problem in this building. Yes, I do. I think the wrong people are making decisions, bro. And I think that I think John Spytek needs that to take over right now. And I think John Spytek needs to make moves to position this team to be able to do everything that they possibly can to get their quarterback this year. You got to stop playing around. You don't, and everybody's like, tank. You don't have to tank. This team is bad, bro. I don't see 4 of the wins. I don't. I wanted to see the Raiders be at least like 7 and 10 or something like that. I don't see another 5 victories. I see the Raiders, the way they look and that's currently constituted, getting swept in a division. This is what I'm seeing, bro. I don't see any more wins. I don't. Maybe Jacksonville, maybe the Giants, maybe, bro. I don't see that many more wins. Maybe Dallas. So when you say tank, the Raiders don't have to tank. They're bad enough on their own. And to me, tanking is a loser mentality, bro. These guys are risking their life to play ball. That's bullshit. I don't want to see anybody go out there and risk their life to purposefully lose. And I don't give a shit what's on the line. I'm sorry. I'm not with that. J-Rock, is this the straw that broke the camel's back when Mark Davis starts meeting with Pete and Spytek after every game going forward? Listen, there's a reason why, Brady and all these guys were supposed to be brought in. They're supposed to be insulating and protecting Mark from having to make these decisions. Marcus more than willing to cut the check. He's cut the check several times over. He's moved the team. He's paid for free agents. Yo, this is something that needs to be fixed at a macro level, man. It needs to be fixed at that level. It doesn't need to go up to the owner. They need to fix it. All the football minds, they need to fix this problem. So, Shy, why are you giving Geno a pass, bro? Trade JPJ. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not giving Geno a pass. Geno's terrible. The F are you talking about, bro? Man, shut up, bro. The F up out of here with that crap. The F up out of here. Lacio says, anybody saying Chip is the problem of dumbasses. Chip is not the one throwing the ball. It's Geno's sorry ass. But see, this is the thing, though. I think personal issues are things that sustain, right? Like the chemistry with the guys, how much they're buying into what you're doing. Like there are a lot of different things and a lot of different caveats to where when you get a guy that is a personality like Chip Kelly, sometimes it might not work with the modern player. I'm gonna be real with you. It might not work. It might not effing work. Yo, salute to my guy J Rock, man. This oh yeah, no, I saw that one. I'm sorry. Not only did we not have any answers on the field, we don't even know the fucking question. Sick of this. Yeah, we all are, Sean. My guy DeMarquise. Thank God for the bye week. We probably lose that one too. Oh my God, man. Rick Glenn, we suck. Abstract Raider. I thought I was watching 2008 Lane Kiffin team. Coach, these guys are asparagus. I'm not saying Pete needs to be fired, but some accountability is needed. Yes, but how do you do that? The only person that can check Pete is the owner, man. Fix the line before QB, and that's the way I'm looking at it too. My guy J Rowe. So, do you not think that Pete should be held to the same? I read this already. The F are you talking about? Yo, my dog, David Walker, is organizational and cultural image issue. There's a lot of things at play, bro. A lot of things at play. Yo, my guy Shoe Rich with the $10 bomb. Hey, Wasted, the trade deadline coming. We have cap room. It's time to let the rookies play and let everybody compete for a starting job. I really think Pete time has passed and the Seahawks new Geno deal is done. And that's a fact, bro. Yo, my guy Bug Nasty. The Raiders need to be sellers. There really isn't much you can do with the rest of the season. Wait, be level-headed as an organization and hope that SpyTech stacks up and makes some tough decisions. I do too, bro. I definitely do, man. Sir Dre said, you and your boyfriend been making the Raiders lose. Yo, see, listen, this is the thing, guys. So what winds up happening is sometimes in Raider content, right, you have certain guys who come in here, they troll, they say disrespectful stuff because they know they can get away with it. And normally, Wasted does not respond to it because I'm an OG, not an old flea, bro. I don't do the internet stuff, man. I don't go back and forth with clowns, bro. I'm way, 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 way beyond that, yo. Way beyond that. I have adult children, right? But it's crazy that you have a guy that comes in here and sends money just to come in here and do this. I mean, literally come in here and slob me down. Like, for real, bro. Dude, let me tell you something. From the depths of my soul.
Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
A humongous, gaping, dripping bitch. F you. And guess what? You are hereby sentenced to a life sentence in the gulag, Sergey. Fuck you and everything you stand for. Everything. I mean, personally, mentally, physically, I mean everything. Don't you ever come in here again, you fucking bum. You have been unceremoniously blocked. The F up out of here. the F up out of here. Go fuck yourself. Yes. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. And Khalid Nasheed, I am glad that you love this show. Thank you, my brother, for pulling up in here, man. Thank you. But, you know, listen, bro, you get some dudes, man, they make fake pages and little corny shit like that, man. Fuck that guy. We got 1,500 people in here. And here you come in here just riding just schmeats. The F up out of here with your crap. Man, that was a great block, man. That felt good, man. Listen, guys, look, I'm be honest with you. Hey, trolls, please, man. It is making me feel good to block people like you. Please come in here talking shit because I am more than game. D. Rich, Mark Davis, or whoever got to get out of the way and let the GM be the GM, hire a head coach. And the Raiders haven't had that since 2012 with Reggie McKenzie. And yo, that's church, man. That's church. Because look, Mark Davis lost faith in Reggie McKenzie. He lost faith in Reggie McKenzie after the Dennis Allen debacle. And after that, he started meddling in the coach's decisions. And that's been the downfall and the bane of the Raiders. I just think that if you do not have everyone diametrically on the same sheet of music, this is the result that you get. I'm just telling you. This is the problem, man. Yeah, I know. Yo, I know, man. Riding on GP is insane, bro. It's insane, bro. It's terrible, man. It's nasty work out here in these streets, man. It's terrible, yo. My guy, Air Show. Sergeant Air Show, my dog. Respectfully wasted. Pete picked Geno, and until I'm tired of watching the same shit year after year. The nation deserves much better. Fire sale. Bro, it's not just about a fire sale. It's what you going to do with it. Hey, listen, like Jail Felony said, man, I can give it to you, but what you going to do with it? What? That shit was so corny, yo. Jail Felony was terrible, bro. Yo, I'm just saying, like, for really, though. Like, yo, if the right people aren't making it don't mean you can have 50 fucking draft picks. If they're picking the wrong people, or you have the wrong people coaching them, or the wrong people putting them in the wrong positions, this ain't gonna work, bro. The foundation of this organization needs to be built from a leadership perspective. And having Tom Brady in the building, we thought that was going to mean something. Let's see if it means something. Let's see how much stroke he has, because Tom Brady's never lost as much in his life. Like, bro. If Mark Davis wants Brady to be the football mind and they're going to sit down and put their heads together, something is rotting, bro. And like I always say, the fish rots from the head, stinks from the head, bro. It starts at the head, bro. It starts from the head. Yo, at the end of the day, if you're not going to fire Pete, something needs to change. And I'm not calling for Pete's head. Because to me, that would make us a complete dumpster fire. It would make us the worst organization in sports right now. Because this will be yet year after year after year. In the last 5 years, how many fucking coaches have we had here? The last 5 or 6 years, man. You cannot build success that way. And you can't build success by just losing like this either. So something has to change. So if they're not on the same sheet of music and Pete doesn't like the fact that they're not running the ball, you're the head coach, Pete. Hold people accountable. Like, I don't like this whole, pragmatist role that he plays. I want him to go and hold people accountable. That's the reason why I don't have a problem with demonstrative coaches. Guys like Bill Parcells that'll cuss you every which way to Sunday. I love that shit. Double Deuce D with the $2 slapperoonie. D Rich. Mark Davis, whoever got it. Oh, yeah, we did this. My guy Hug D's. Wasted. Did you notice the name on a profile pic? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Who was it, bro? I need this show for my mental health. Blocked clowns. That's right. This Pete Carroll hire feels like when Tom Coughlin went to the Jags. This won't end well. What are you talking about? Tom Coughlin started out with the Jags. Tom Coughlin had the Jags in the AFC Championship game. What you mean? You talk about what Tom Coughlin went as a GM? Because Tom Coughlin started out with the Jags, Cesar Lorenzo, and he went to the AFC Championship game with Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor and all of them. Mark and Jimmy, Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith and all of them. Tony Baselli, and they had a really good roster. Tom Coughlin did an excellent job with the Jacksonville Jaguars. My guy, Demon Hunter, my dog, Jason, what's up? Bless his family. Can't say I didn't expect this. Thought more fight, but we move on. I always love this team and not kill it like most of y'all sometimes. I think y'all just like the gear. I mean, look, Jay. Look, you know how I am, right? I am a guy who I try not to go off the deep end. I try not to overreact, right? I try not to, right? But when you see a display like today, bro, this is what you're going to get. What you think people are going to do, bro? Like this, they weren't even competitive this game. They didn't score 1 point. If you had Daniel Carlson as your kicker in fantasy football, you lost. The only person who showed up today was AJ Cole. What are we talking about here, Jay? People, and this is the one thing that I won't do. I can decide how I'm going to process this and choose how I want to process this. I can't tell y'all how to process this. If y'all want to motherfuck the team, then go ahead. Because until they stop winning, they open themselves up for this. It's like, sometimes, man, when you keep getting punched in the face, man, you gotta react. You gotta punch back. You gotta slip. You gotta parry. You gotta do something. You gotta shoulder roll. You gotta do something. What you gonna do? You just gonna keep getting hit? You gotta do something, bro. And guess what? The fan base, we don't really have many accountability measures, right? Right? Football is something that we love. It is an outlet, right? It's supposed to be fun. We enjoy the sport. We love the sport, right? So what do? Do we punish ourselves by not watching football? Do we say, oh, I'm not buying any gear? That's a drop in the bucket. We love this team. We all love this team, but we all process losing differently. The one thing that I don't go for is everybody just blaming one person. Everybody just blames Mark Davis. It's not his fault, bro. He's not a football guy. He's a businessman. He's a damn good one. He's hiring people to do a job, and they're not doing it well. Now, maybe he's hiring the wrong people, but we even brought in we brought in the GOAT. The GOAT helped him. We got all these people. He went and hired a headhunting firm to help him hire the coach, the same firm that told the Chiefs to hire Andy Reid. And it's not working out. And we got to figure out what in this organization is short-circuited. And what I think the problem with the Raiders, I think it is the way that they hire. You cannot hire the coach before the GM. Protocol in organizations and in family structures and in whatever you're talking about, protocol is freaking key. You can't have somebody that is up in the booth that's picking the players answering to the guy on the sideline. That cannot happen, bro. That can't happen. Because the reason why you up in that booth, the reason why, the coach is coaching and he's this close to the situation and you're this far away from the situation, because sometimes you have to put some distance between you and the situation to figure out what's really right. As a father and a husband, there's been so many times in my iteration being a dad and a husband. I've been a husband a long time now, and I've been a father. I've been a father for 19 years, right? And what I'll say to you is this. There's a lot of times where I have to separate myself from the situation to figure out what's right. Sometimes I got to go take a ride in my car. Sometimes I got to go to work and think about it. Sometimes I got to go to the gym and think about how I'm going to react to something. Sometimes I might go and go ride over to my brother's house, kick it with him. I might not even talk about what the problem is, but I need some time to look at the situation from a bird's eye view and not a worm's eye view. Sometimes you need that. And when you have people in the building, bro, that are on the sideline and dealing with these players on a day in and day out basis, sometimes they're too close to the situation to make the right decision, bro. Now, some people will say, yo, you don't know, they know better. Yo, apparently they fucking don't. Because if they did, we'd be winning. This organization only drafted a QB 5 times in the first round. It's time for that to change. Yeah, Chase Rader. When is that going to change, though? Is that going to change with a 74-year-old coach? I don't know if he's willing to develop a young quarterback. But what I do know is that he better be smart enough to see that Geno Smith has got to go. You can't, and look, I understand when you got a bad organization, it's hard to figure out exactly where the pain point is. It's hard to figure out whether it is the offensive line. It's hard to figure out whether it's the play calling. It's hard to figure out, is it the weapons? Is it the quarterback? Is it all of them? It's very tough to figure that out, right? But the one thing I know is this, right? What a young stud quarterback does is he resets your timeline, right? Because his development is paramount. He's on the same timeline as some of your weapons. Brock, Ashton. Well, Brock Bowers, I'm going to be honest with you. If he's not 100% healthy, sit him out for the rest of the year. This year is a wash, bro. The way that they're playing, this year, they're not going to make many strides. And I think this year, if Pete is smart, should be about development, bro. Listen, you should always strive to win. I don't want them to tank, but you got to win within the construct of making the team better next year. And what's going to make the team better next year is playing guys that are going to be here next year. When you play guys that you're going to have to move on from, to me, that's very short-sighted. If you know you have no intention on keeping a lot of these guys, get these guys the fuck on, bro. Guys like Parham, get them on. I was 2 rows back of the Raiders bench at the game. Adams and Roberts were laughing, smirking and joking around while down 31. Unserious team. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Look, and these are 2 guys that are not long for the Raiders, bro. These dudes don't have no future with the team. Get them the fuck out of here. Get the team fitted for dog collars because they're getting dog walk every week. They seem okay with being losers. And, bro, I don't necessarily think that's the case, bro. It's hard to win games in this league, and it's hard to win games when people aren't on the same page. It's hard to win games when you got people in the building who are pulling against what you pulling for. There's so many things wrong here, bro. Wasted. Read my name and look at my pick. Blind. His name is Hyde Dees. Get the F up out of here. You're always Hug Dees. 93 total yards on offense. Maybe the curse will end some days. Love the channel, by the way. Unceremoniously blocked. Thank you, Manny Avalos. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Love y'all for supporting and pulling up to the channel, man. There are 31 NFL teams. Then there are the Raiders. Yeah, man. That used to mean something a lot different. Why do you think the Raiders won't draft a QB in the first round? Taking a chance. Jamarcus Russell effect? No, I think that when Al was alive, right, you had a situation where he took the organization over. You had Tom Flores. Then they got Darryl LaMonica. They traded for Darryl LaMonica, or maybe he was released and Darryl LaMonica was the coach. Then they drafted Kenny Stabler, and Kenny Stabler was our quarterback for a very long time, right? Then the team was still good enough to where they were trying to backfill holes. Like, I don't think Al, in that era of football, the quarterback did not really mean everything in that era of football. So when you got a guy that was running the organization from its infant stages to the modern era of football, quarterbacks did not mean as much as they do now, right? And there's 2 reasons why. Because one, it was a running league back then. 2, you were able to hit quarterbacks back then, right? You were able to hit them after the play. They weren't a protected class of people, right? So the game was a game where running, defense, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, field position, you didn't really have free agency, so you were able to keep guys on defense for 8 to 10 years, so you have a great defense and you keep it that way. And that's what the Raiders had, right? So they needed somebody just not to mess up, just to drive the car. You had a better roster all around for the most part, you be the team that would be successful, right? And then you had those teams that had a great roster and they had a superstar quarterback. And when we had Kenny Stabler, that was a thing. Like, he was one of the better quarterbacks in this league. Then we went to those eras where we had Pastorini, and then we had Jim Plunkett, and Jim Plunkett balled out and won 2 Super Bowls for us. But after that, Al Davis still had that mentality where, yo, this team is still good. I just won a Super Bowl with them in '84. All I need is this. All I need is that. And it was like, yo, he was measuring once and cutting twice all the time. And then you get up to the Gruden era, and Gruden went and he got his guy. He didn't have to draft him. He got Rich Gannon. He was the perfect quarterback for that West Coast offense he was running. And we were successful with it. But after that, I think a lot of, why the Raiders didn't draft certain players had to do with money and the lack thereof money and the lack thereof resources. I think a lot of that stuff had to do with that. And I think Al was always trying to win. But when you're fighting with the league and stuff like that, this is what you have. Then you have a situation where, 1 year we probably could have drafted a quarterback, right? And not that you might have wanted to, but, Mark takes over and Hugh Jackson had already traded away our draft picks and brought in Carson Palmer. We brought in another reclamation project. And it's kept going down the line like that. After Jason Campbell, we had another record. Like, bro, it's a lot. And then, we had 10 years of Derek. So you're thinking, well, Derek has a lot of promise. We paid him. He looks like he's the future of this team. He's the all-time leader in this and that. So we need to outfit talent around him. We don't need a quarterback. But the thing is, until you're sure that somebody is really a franchise quarterback and not a very good quarterback like Derek was, he's a very good quarterback, right? But he wasn't a franchise guy. You knew when you looked at Derek that he wasn't Aaron Rodgers, and you knew that, when Mahomes kind of passed him, you knew he wasn't Mahomes. You knew he wasn't Andrew Luck. You knew that. You have to strive to have those kind of players every single year if you don't, even if you got a good quarterback. Yo, we bought in Geno because of Pete. It's not working. We got to do something. Yeah, Jay, you are 100% right. If Mark gonna curse at Pete Metamucil, if Mark ain't gonna curse Pete's Metamucil out, Tom Brady do it. Let him go full metal jacket on Pete. Private Powell, what is this in your Foot Locker? It's a jelly donut, sir. Holy Jesus, jelly donut. Wasted. Geno needs to be benched. Who would you go with for the rest of the season? Listen, I don't know, right? But what I would do is I would treat this like training camp. The bye week, get them some rest and bring these guys back. And like Pete says, compete for who the starting quarterback is. It's time to move on from Geno. Buck nasty, man. No joke. Strong cap space and a stud rookie QB can lead to quick success. We see it every year. And then now in the NFL, in the new age. And that's true. But the thing is, everybody needs to be on the same sheet of music. And the problem is when you got a coach that is not looking 10 years down the line, right? A young coach is like, damn, I'm going to be here for the rest of my career. When you got a guy that's at the end of his career, he wants to win now. And he thinks that he can do things that was kind of close to what he did in the past to win. And that might not be the case, bro. And I think that there should be a little bit of control taken from Pete Carroll. I don't want to fire Pete, but they can't give Pete this much autonomy, bro. You can't give him this much autonomy in a situation where, you don't know whether or not he's going to be coaching here in 3 years. The female owner of the Colts is running the organization better than Mark is. I mean, she's coming into a better situation than Mark, though, right? I mean, is she really? Like, she didn't have to make any major decisions. All she does is sit on the fucking sideline with a clipboard, with a headset, trying to figure out if she knows what's going on. And everybody thinks that she's doing so well. Like, why? Like, Steichen was already here. They were the ones who decided to move on from the mistake that they made, at quarterback and going with Daniel Jones and bringing him in. They were the ones that did that. So that has nothing. What is she running? I mean, her father, Jim Irsay the Colts have been a great organization ever since they brought Peyton Manning in. They have been a great organization. It wasn't like she's managing them out of the basement. Sensible T. John became a YouTube member. Salute to you, my brother. Cesar Lorenzo, your honest opinion. Would you like a Shedeur trade or for us to look to draft? I keep telling y'all, listen, y'all know there has been no bigger supporter of Shedeur I'm about to say Shakur Stevenson. There has been no bigger supporter of Shedeur Sanders than me. Shedeur Sanders was passed over 5 times, bruh. 5. They don't want him, bruh. Somebody don't want him, because if they were all on board with him, he'd be here. I don't want a quarterback that everybody's not on board with, bruh. And we don't know how Shedeur come here and be bad, and y'all be wanting him to get benched. Draft your guy. Draft your guy, whoever that is. Draft your guy. We haven't seen this guy take one snap, and y'all want to move heaven and earth for a guy that we could have drafted 5 times. You know what? If they traded for Shedeur, it would kind of piss me off, because I'm like, yo, why the fuck did you guys just draft him? I'm tired of the Shedeur shit, bro. Shedeur is not the answer here for us. I don't know whether he's that guy or not, but it would piss me off because you're giving up draft capital for the next year's draft, and you could have fucking been drafted the guy. You could have been drafted him. It was Spy Tech. He's on that Patriot Way type of shit. You a good guy, you can play. Even if you no, bro, how could you say it's on Spy Tech? There's no Patriot Way down there in Tampa Bay. Them guys are down there balling. Come on, bro. I think Spy Tech flamethrower. Hold on. Wait. Wasted. You bugging, bro. Shedeur's the answer. Get the fuck out of here, bro. How? So let me ask you a question, flamethrowers. How do you surmise that Shedeur Sanders is the answer? Based off of what? Tape? What's the what makes you think that he's gonna come here with this offensive line and win? What you mean I'm bugging? What are you talking about, bro? How the fuck is he the bro? And I hate to cuss, man, because it's a family show, right? But this is the dumbest shit. This is stupid, bro. Like, for you to say that, bro, lets me know everything I need to know. Now, if you telling me the Raiders are gonna trade for like Lamar Jackson or some shit, that's different. We don't know how good this kid is, bro. I like Shedeur, yeah. Did I like what I saw some of this stuff in college? Yeah. But there was other stuff I didn't like because he's not like super physically talented. I like my quarterbacks a little more physically talented. But guys, cut this Shedeur shit out. Shedeur is in Cleveland in an organization that's losing right now, holding a clipboard, bruh. Stop this shit, bro. Just because y'all like him and he got swagger. I don't need my quarterback to have swagger. I need him to be able to fucking play. He can be as goofy as Eli Manning as long as he can fucking play. We are money generators for the league, not a winning organization anymore. I don't even know if we're money generators for the league. The league is a cash cow. Bro, you can literally put NFL on every day of the week, and it's going to be the highest rated programs of every year. When you start talking about from television is the Super Bowl and the playoffs. And then you have certain things sprinkled in there. Like the NFL is the cash cow. It is the #1 entertainment brand in the world. It is. Look, bro, there's not too many things people do and watch over NFL football in America. My guy, John Rodriguez, the Raiders should have drafted Moreau. We can talk about what the Raiders shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? We could talk about that till we blew in the face, man. Let's talk about what they're gonna do now. We all can have revisionist history. What's the solution now? Y'all tell me in the chat. You know, the post-game rant line is going to change today because we're going into a bye week. I need y'all to tell me, what do y'all think needs to happen right now this season with this cast of people? Tell me that. Look, and Adam Gomez, I'm a guy who, yes, I wanted Daniel Jones. But this is the thing, bro. When you talk about free agents, when you talk about all of this stuff, bro, Free agents have to want to come here, bro. Like coaches have to want to come here. Like, bro, y'all forget that. He don't have to come here just because we want him and we think it's a good thing to do. So guys, look, I got a lot of answers in the chat. We're going to get to that. My guy, Demon Hunter, man. This Shedeur stuff is ridiculous. He's an average QB. If his name was not Sanders, y'all wouldn't say a word. You don't know football. Keep playing Madden. Goofy as F. Salute to my guy, Jay, right? So look, there's a few things, right? Now, y'all fucking stupid, bro. I asked, I said, yo, what do we need to do, right? What do we need to do? Somebody said prayer. Y'all look crazy, yo. Y'all look crazy, man. Nick G says, fire Pete. That's stupid. That's dumb. That's just emotion talking. Emotion is the enemy of reason. Firing another coach is not going to do it. It's fucking stupid. I don't want to hear about firing Pete Carroll again, bro. I don't want to hear about that shit. He hasn't even gotten through a full year yet. Fire Pete's son. So why is this all on Pete's son? Why are we firing him? Why are we going to go right to him and not go to Chip Kelly? If there's no change, fire the whole staff. No, that's stupid, bro. To me, you can say what y'all want. That's dumb. That's the reason why we're in the situation we in now. Solly Mitchell, I have no idea where to begin to fix this. Thank God it's not my responsibility. It needs to be somebody's, right? I think it starts here. Marcus Bryant is 100% right. Yo, salute to Marcus Bryant. Bench Geno first. Start Pickett. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. That's huge. That's huge right there. Because it shows accountability measures. Play our draft picks instead of free agents nobody wanted. Look, that's a start. Retype, man. I've been around a bit for the Raiders' history. Not the 60s and the 70s, but I know my history. I never thought that for Pete, this may not be the team for him. He wants to go out on top. Listen, man, whether he wants to go out on top, right now the fact remains he's at the bottom. He's at the bottom, and he got to do something to change that. Damn it. For this season, just put JPJ at center and move Meredith to guard. See if that works. It worked last year. Just try it, Carroll. It worked with Philbin last year. And listen, that's the one thing I'll never understand. Why not? What we need to do is give this show the worst show of the year where ASAP. All right, I'm headed to the gulags on my own. Bodega, listen, man. It's been nice knowing you, Bodega. Say hi to the bums in the gulag. The F up out of here. Blocked. Wasted, bro. This fan base don't get it. Ben Johnson turned us down. They think coaches are lined up to take this Raiders gig. No. And if you fire another one, now you're going to have fucking one of the worst people in the world coaching this fucking organization. Everybody's saying, oh, fire Patrick Graham. He might be the only person that takes this fucking job. Andre. Start with JPJ back to center and then see how Geno plays. If he still plays like Geno, bench him for Pickett. Johnny Castillo's about to get blocked. I'm so glad I'm a Dodgers fan. Takes a little bit of the pain away. Oh, get the F up out of here. Yeah, Bodega's been blocked. He'll be back. Bodega will be back, man. Bodega's never, ever. If he's blocked, I'll go back in and unblock him, man. That's my dog, man. Yo, let's be honest, nation. We don't have a talented team. We have 6 real NFL players at best. We effed off the draft in the last decade, period. And there's going to be some collateral damage to that. Not drafting well. It's going to be some collateral damage to all of this shit. It really is. It's going to be some collateral damage, bro. I totally understand that. Listen, I need for you guys, man, if you guys are following me on X, or if you're not following me, go follow me. Follow your brother Wasted, man. This might be your first time watching, the Wasted Talent podcast, Raider Nation Unlimited. This might be your first time. Don't make it your last. Don't make it your last. We are trying to grow this platform, yo. Pete Stubborn, he died on the Geno Sword. Bang Zoom. Oh my God, disgusting work. What the F is wrong with you, man? God! Wow! Chill, Raider Rash. What did I ever do to you? You come here speaking this filth. Let's start Geno the rest of the way so he can continue to lose and go get our QB. Bro, this is the problem, dog. It's not about wins and losses. It's about style of play. Like, losing like this is a stench. It is a stench, bro. It's a stench that does not get off of you. It's a stench. Yo, playing competitive football is how you learn and you grow, even if you lose. And I'm not into moral victories, but they're not playing competitive football, bro. Bufu, do you have a podcast on Spotify? Yes, I do. It's on Spotify, Raider Nation Unlimited, featuring Wasted Talent. Yes, I do. And I upload these episodes to Spotify too. I haven't been doing it, but guess what? When I get done with this, I'm going to record my podcast episode too, brother. Yo, 2 guys Spy brought in, Devin White and Kappa. The rest are Pete Carroll's guys to fit his system and his roster construction. It's definitely more on Pete. Spy needs to build the roster in his own image. Pete Carroll just needed to be a head coach and not the GM, and that's the problem, bro. That is the biggest problem. We spoke about that earlier. The problem is that, yo, protocol, bro. You can't have a guy that is supposed to be answering to you making the decisions. The buck stops at the GM, and it should always. It really stops at the owner. My guy Giovanni B with the $5 slapperoonie. Best colors, logos, fan stadium, history, content creators, offseason, worst football team over the last 30 years. If there was a way to contextualize this, man, you get a freaking A+ for that. LC, it's time to trade Max. He deserves to be in a winning team. We need to build through the draft. If we can get a first and a second, let's do it. LC, I'm not trying to trade Max at all. If they do, I understand the ideology behind it, though, right? But the thing is, I'm not sure whether these guys will make the right decision with those picks. Picks don't mean anything if you don't do the right thing, if you're not aligned and you don't have a complete and clear vision. If you don't have a vision for what you're trying to do going forward, it's not good. And we don't necessarily know what they're trying to do. Raider OG, what do you need to see from Pete before enough is enough? His stubbornness doesn't sit well, isn't good for a head coach. What I need to see is a whole season and an off season. Because what I need to see is what happens when you go out in free agency and you have a bite at the apple to swing on some better players, man. Telling you right now. I hack a lot. The Bears ruin y'all season. LS, PS, trade us Max. You get nothing. I hack a lot. You get the F up out of here. The F up out of here. You get nothing. We can make all the excuses in the world, but I'm completely checked out on this regime. Top down. Al Davis, the reason I love this team, and it feels like his spirit is slowly fading away. Yeah, it does, man, and it sucks. It sucks, man. It's terrible, man. My God, DJ Johnson, honestly, the message would be everyone competes for their job every week for the rest of the season. Yeah, it should be like that, bro. All of this compete stuff, I need that to be spread around, bro. Spread it all around. Spread it around. Don't tell me that JPJ is the only guy competing for his job every week. I don't understand why they didn't run the ball more with Genty. Made no sense the whole game. And listen, Pete needs to have a come to Jesus moment with Chip Kelly. He does. But the thing is, guys, look, man, no matter whether it's Josh McDaniels, whether it's Pete Carroll, whether it's Antonio Pierce, whether it's Jack Del Rio or John Gruden, there's a problem in his organization, bro. And I think it is in the time when we've had the best success has been under Del Rio. And I think the reason why we had that success is because Reggie McKenzie was the boss, and Jack Del Rio didn't tell Reggie McKenzie nothing. Reggie, even though Reggie didn't always do the right thing, he had one good draft, and that was kind of the reason why things stopped. The Carr Mack draft, Gabe Jackson draft, right? Shelby Harris and all of them guys came out of that draft, right? He wasn't able to continue that success, Reggie McKenzie. But the good thing was that Jack Del Rio wasn't the one short circuiting everything. They made a few mistakes back then. I think, bringing in Todd Dowling for Derek Carr and getting rid of Musgrave was a huge mistake as well, right? But if I'm being honest, right, John Spytek, the power structure needs to be solidified here. The power structure needs to be solidified. John Spytek is the young, up-and-coming GM. This is his first job as a GM. He needs to build this team however he sees fit. And that's the end of it. I like Pete. I have respect for Pete. I think Pete Carroll is a gentleman. I have respect for his career, but I can't cash in the currency of Pete Carroll's career. I can't. You guys can't. Yo, we're Raider fans. I'm not no Seahawk fan. I don't care what he won with them. I don't care what he won with USC. I'm not a USC fan. I don't care. I want him to win right here, right now with us. My man said Pete made Antonio Pierce look like Bill Walsh. That is nasty effing word. Black Cells. What's up, Black Cells? Aye, mateys. Out of the last 5 drafts, we have Tuckers, Bowers, JPJ, Mayer, and Genty to show for it all. All these failed draft picks. We suck because we have no talent. And, bro, that's a fact, man. Raider Classics. Why in the world is Tonka Hemingway, Pegues, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant not getting any burn? They're relatively high picks not playing. And I think that's a huge problem, bro. Huge problem. Huge problem. But, guys, yo, 100%. And Mark should make that known to both of them. And if Pete can't get behind that, see you. And, guys, I think that's the best way to end the show. We had almost an hour and a half. That's the best way to end the show. I think the power structure needs to be solidified here. Owner, GM, head coach. Owner, GM, head coach. Owner, GM, head coach. Listen, I am not waxing poetic about a 4-13 season. All you guys with this AP shit, I don't want to hear that. I'm not waxing poetic on what we were one of the worst teams in football last year, bro. We played some bad football last year and nothing's changed. But Bob Standard is right. We need to bench them. Yo, it kills me 100% more to see the Patriots suck for a few years. They get Drake May and McDouche top of the division again. Yeah, man. Because, yo, you got an owner that's a great owner. And he did what he was supposed to do, man. JPJ got benched. And, yo, to me, if JPJ is the only one getting benched, then that's a credibility problem on Pete. But listen, we've said this shit 100 times. Raider Loso has just come in here disrespecting about my hairline, which is non-existent right now. I am bald right now, so get the F up out of here. To not bench Caillou Blue Kelly and give Darian Porter a shot just blows my mind. Kelly is god-awful. The worst rates at corner in the entire league. Pathetic coach and play caller. But listen, guys. It's time to get up out of here. We're an hour and a half in. I need to go for a walk. You know, we're going to be back at y'all all week with some content, bro. I love every single one of y'all. Whomever is listening to the sound of my voice, it is 1,500 of you guys in the room. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. High D's is in the place. But listen, hit that subscribe button. Going over to Spotify and Apple. We're on the audio podcast over there. Hit that, you know, follow button on X. We need everybody we can get following us here, right? And going over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. If you guys want some top flight content, Raider content, going over there and hit that button, man. I love every single one of y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. I'm glad that you guys pulled up and were able to vent. You know, this is a wasted therapy session. We will be doing reaction Monday, most likely tomorrow, and we will be talking tomorrow more about this. I'm going to get some answers about the JPJ thing for you guys, man. Love every single one of y'all. Y'all have a terrific night. Everybody except Bodega. You guys have a great night, man. Peace.